So, one of the perks of having my own store is that I get to have a good old look at the GW stuff when it gets delivered. So, here we have Sister Superior Amalia Novena, the first plastic Sisters of Battle model from the new Sisters of Battle range. So this is not the first one sculpted, but the first one released. And you've got to remember that, because similar preview miniatures were released for the Night Haunt, the new Sigmar Chamber, the new Dark Oath for Chaos, with the event at the end of Age of Sigmar version 1. This continues that tradition of doing a preview mini for a new range, and they've done this purely because of popular demand. Sisters come in at the end of the year, provided everybody hits their deadlines, because the Sisters have had such a quick turnaround in terms of deciding to do it versus release. So when you look at the Primaris Marines, and they were sculpted in 2012, 2013, the concept stuff was done. You've got Jez Goodwin going through it and designing the whole range. That was done 3, 4, 5 years before release. So the turnaround time for the Sisters is so much quicker. Come on, let's get it out here. There we go. So we've got it released as the mini for Warhammer Day. So this is going to come out on the 29th. So let's have a look at the exact contents of the box. So we've got an instruction booklet with front and back views. We've got the assembly guide. So you've got 12-piece model. Yeah, this is pre-contrast painting instructions. You've got unit entry for Battle Sisters squad. So 1 Sister Superior and 4 Battle Sisters. I don't think they're expecting you to make a squad up solely of this model, but it gives you the rules. You also get this. What's this? Let's unfold it and have a look. It's a piece of paper. It's the artwork that the model is based on. And this artwork, if you're a Sisters player from a long time ago, you will recognise this. So, I'll actually get a little artwork poster. Let's pop the sprue out. So, based on a 32mm, let's zoom in real close. So, looking at this, look at that scenic base. So that scenic base is absolutely beautiful. Dry brushing would pick up all of this detail, but you could do quite a variety of things with it. Particularly you've got these 2 sets of candles. So you could do object source lighting with that. You could nick them and use them on something else and replace them with something else. So you've got the base reflecting the theme of the model, which is martyrdom, which is religious iconography, things like that. So let's have a look at some of the pieces. So the torso has a front and back, you've got the thighs, you've got a leg piece that's separate. For the hands, you've got, one hand at the front holding a rosary chain with an icon on it, and another holding the bolter off to the side of the body, and that's the Sisters pattern bolter, which has ejector ports on both sides and a sickle magazine. You've got the Sisters backpack. You've got grenade, icon, and beads again. For the face, you've got, that's a real nice face. Yeah, this is a really, really nice model. I'm going to be putting it together using a pair of clippers, trimming the what appears to be almost non-existent flash off using this X-Acto knife, and assembling it. Looking at the instructions, there's no real need for sub-assemblies. You can leave the backpack off. You could leave this arm off, so that's part 5. However, that does connect to the belt piece with another chain of beads and the thumb. It also doesn't block you from painting this bit of the bodice. So if you're going to go with sub-assemblies, you'd probably want to have the base as one, the body as another, the head as the third, and the backpack as the fourth. And then you can really get to the detail on the head without anything obstructing it, and you can do the detail on the back without the backpack getting in the way. The body itself and the arms seem to be absolutely fine to put together. Yeah, that's an incredible kit. I'm selling these for 16 quid. A lot of the independents will be. And for 16 quid, it's a lovely character model stroke painting project. If you are a Sisters enthusiast, I would recommend getting this. Absolutely. Yeah, you may end up just using it as a normal figure, you might end up using it in a kill team, you might do X, Y and Z with it. But in terms of a painting project, it whets the appetite. It lets you try out the scheme that you might want to go with. It lets you do a few things and experience the new Sisters range in plastic. And while it's very unlikely they'll do scenic basis for the standard models, somebody might. So you can look at, because yeah, those are roses, you can look at putting a lot of effort into this and painting it to the best of your ability, and using it as a Sister Superior, using it as an abbess, doing all sorts of things with it. Certainly if I could get hold of similarly styled plastic models, it'd be a great centerpiece model for a kill team. It'd be a great centerpiece model for a small 1,000-point army. I'm really, really liking this model and looking forward to putting it together. So I'll put it together in a separate video, but yeah, my verdict on this is that it's really, really nice. Some people have complained about the face, but at this scale, with plastic casting, that's a really good female face. The model itself gives, and this is where we talk about some of the theory behind it and some of the approaches GW have been using to the range. So GW are well aware that women exist. A number of GW staff are women, a number of the design and production and art team are women, and they know that there's a whole bunch of women out there who love making and painting models and doing hobbies like that. There's certainly a lot of people on the internet who don't like the idea of that and want to gatekeep the hobby, but historically, wargaming, there's always been some women involved. You look at the wargaming societies of the 50s and 60s, if you find some of the incredibly old magazines online, there are some women involved. If you read the introduction to H.G. Wells' first book about wargaming, it talks about boys and girls playing it. But having a female power fantasy range, in the same way that Space Marines are a male power fantasy, Sisters are a female power fantasy. Yeah, Sisters are a female power fantasy now, and not in a male gaze sort of way. Having female models is key to growing the demographic, because Games Workshop want to be in the business of making toy soldiers for a very, very long time, and making the range more inclusive of women, giving female models, and not the sort of cheesecake stuff you get from some manufacturers, is a key part of that. I don't think it's a coincidence that a lot of women I know that play the hobby play something like Tyranids. Tyranids being, depending on how you look at it, an all-female army. or they play one of the many varieties of elves with all their elf crap, who do have a bunch of female models in. So there will be a lot of Sisters players coming out of the woodwork, but there will be a bunch of new Sisters players. So I was never able to afford Sisters when I was young, because the range stopped being a core range before 2000. And if you want them now, you're shelling out an enormous amount of money for metals from GW Direct only. You can't have a squad priced at 50 quid when you need 4 or 5 squads in an army. So Plastic Sisters is happening, it's real, they are your friend, and it's all coming quite soon. An incredible turnaround time for the sort of project that this is. So I'm incredibly happy with it. Just look at that base. But this is good stuff. This is exactly the sort of thing you want to see from a preview model for the range, and I'm going to enjoy putting it together and painting it. So if you've enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe. If you want to chat, leave a comment below. Otherwise, good gaming.